Skip, when I turn an application into 15, 20, 25, sometimes 50 microservices, those microservices are technically independent. So they need to communicate between each other to, yeah, make up a consistent and coherent application at the end. And by definition, there's a lot more that can go wrong when you have independent release life cycles of each of those applications. You have independent product teams that are responsible for the well-being of those applications, and at the end of the day, the overall volume of things that go wrong, of incidents that you see in the system, uh, it goes up tremendously. How are you guys addressing that issue?
Yep. Yeah, and these things are especially true when you think about the change rates and the pace of innovation. We see customers are pushing new code into these environments literally every hour, right? Many, many, many times a day. So we're taking the same approach that we have to every other part of systems work, if you will, right? It starts with getting data. You've got to get data about everything going on in every one of these services, in the code, in the metrics, in the underlying infrastructure, and the end user response. But that's a huge amount of really noisy data. Then you've got to turn it into insights that contemplate that context. What depends on what? The butterfly flapping its wings over here that rippled out observe the problem over here, right? We have to cut through that and get to what caused the change, right? And then quickly get the right teams responding to mitigate, correct, roll out new code to that data into insights, into workflows, ultimately the prescription that gives us, the scale and the speed that is required for these kinds of environments.
Yes, and we have site reliability engineers. Those are the really expensive and sought after guys today. They are spending over half of their day looking for the pertinent information for the specific problem they're trying to solve, and they're looking for the right people to mine for that information and to hit up on Slack. And it is tremendously inefficient, and it hinders scalability of that cloud native world.
Yeah, it's interesting. IT has moved a lot further ahead in hardening and scaling processes in many other parts of the environment, whereas in this new leading edge of microservices, cloud native apps, it's still kind of the wild west of deep expert manual processes. So what we're doing is really trying to combine the best of both worlds, right? Make sure they've got the data and the insights, monitoring observability. We partner with everybody in that space. We also have our own agent client connector and recently acquired an observability company ourselves, a company called Lightstep. We'll bring the best of the data, the best of the actionable insights, but then connect that into this workflow fabric so that we get away from the expertise living in individual, expensive, and hard to scale heads and to it becoming part of a systemic response. And the smart people can work on, hey, let me make the workflow better. And now every time I do it, it gets better, more efficient, right?
And we've been talking about artificial intelligence, deep learning, reinforcement learning, general machine learning algorithms for decades now.
Yes.
And we've never really managed to harness those for exactly solving this issue. How are you guys harnessing them now? What are you doing differently from the past when this has never really worked for us?
So I see AI broadly, ML specifically, is literally the opposable thumb of most of these problems, right? It gives us the ability to scale way beyond what the human can contemplate and address much harder questions. Why it's going to work this time around is the algorithms, the approaches are better understood. We've already got the data collection, right? ML has a voracious appetite for data, and we're finally instrumenting and observing these systems at levels that give you enough to respond to. And then we're building it in out of the box, right? Literally across the board from chatbot and human interactive stuff to classification, segmentation, what's happening right now, to the future forward looking predictive prescriptive analytics about what's going to happen in the future. But that SRE shouldn't have to add being an ML expert to his or her resume in order to be good at their job. It's got to come pre-built in the apps. And then, like everything else, they have to be able to tailor and extend it where it doesn't match their particular needs in their environment.
Yeah, we need vertical toolkits, construction sets to get those SREs up to speed so that they see everything they need in their own industry and tailor it to their specific problems. And that's exactly how we make all of this actionable and save everybody's time and make things scalable. Thank you very much, Skip.
Thank you very much. A pleasure.